If you're watching this, New York Fashion Week is probably right around the corner, and you're probably wondering, how can I book New York Fashion Week? Or literally, how can I make this happen? I have no way of doing this, and I don't even know what's going on. You're probably petite, you're probably short, and you're probably like, does that even happen? Is that even possible? And I'm here to tell you, yes, it is. You deserve to be in this industry just as much as everyone else does. I am so glad that you found this video, because I really want you to get into New York Fashion Week. And no, I need you to get into New York Fashion Week ASAP. I want to share with you guys how I walked New York Fashion Week 3 times in a row, and 4 times this year for even bigger designers, which I'm so grateful for. And my first time was in 2022. And if you are new here to this channel, I know I posted this on Instagram, and I'm aware that I'm probably gonna get a new crowd here who doesn't know what the hell is going on this channel, and that is totally okay. You're new here. I talk about manifestation. You probably don't even know what that is, and that's okay. Manifestation is not voodoo, it's not magic, it's not evil. It's literally not what you think it is. It's not what everyone says it is. It's literally just a mindset shift. There is literally nothing wrong with thinking positive, and if you think thinking positive is demonic, I don't know what to tell you. Just stay miserable, I guess. I'm going to share with you how I manifested walking New York Fashion Week 3 times, and I'm going to tell you how you can do it too. So my first ever New York Fashion Week was in 2022 of September, and for some reason the reel still goes viral. There are 2 reels because I walked for 2 designers that season, but I'm kind of just gagged at how I think they have like something million views on Instagram, which is kind of crazy if you ask me. It's kind of crazy. I was a newbie to manifestation in like maybe 2021, and I found it. I remember the exact day I found it and the exact day I started practicing it. It was the summer of 2021, and you can go look at my other video. I don't want to make this video too long, but I do have a video talking about my journey, and then I do also have a video talking about my success stories. So I had found it in 2021 in the summertime, and it wasn't until 2022 that I started manifesting my modeling journey, because I was like, okay, like, yeah, I was modeling way before manifestation, but I wasn't really modeling, if that makes sense. I was more of an influencer because I didn't really want to bother with modeling that much because of what I was told. Oh, you're too short, no one's ever gonna like scout you. Even though I didn't subscribe to that, I did not think that that applied to me, and it didn't. Everyone was like, you know, influencing can be your way into modeling. So at the time I didn't really care. I was like, whatever, sure. Even though I didn't want to do it, I was like, sure. So I did influencing back then, and then I had this spark click in me, and I was like, you know what, no, I don't want to do this shit. Like, I don't want to be I don't want to model for influencer brands. I don't want to be seen as an influencer. That's not who I am. It's not what I want to do. And if I found manifestation, and if I know there has to be a first for everything, why would I bother with influencing? What's the deal with that? I don't want to do anything. I never want to do something that I don't want to do. And now that I found manifestation, and now that I have a mindset shift, and now that I know literally 99% of the people who are successful have a successful mindset, I'm like, why can't that be me? That can be me. Why not? Why not? Why can't it be me? What's the deal with that? Me being me, I dropped the influencer stuff. I even have it in my bio on Twitter. Don't call me an influencer, because that is not what I'm going to be categorized as, when that's not what my brand is. That's not what I want to do. It's model, petite model, or just model, whatever you want to say. But literally, you guys cannot take apples when you want oranges. I don't even know if that's a good analogy, but I think you get what I'm saying. I don't know how else to say it, but don't settle. That would have been like a better choice of wording, but don't settle for anything that you don't want to do. I need to stop trying to be deep, but like, I'm literally not even trying. This is just how I am anyway. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a list of things that I want to do, and it's gonna be runway, because my entire niche is literally being one of the first short models to become a high fashion model. And I feel like I said, you can't have that mentality like, oh, well, you know, no one's ever done that before, and the industry isn't open to this. Well, girl, make them open. Like, what are you talking about? Make them open. You know you can do that, right? You know there has to be a first for everything. You never know how far you can get with your mindset. You can go so far if you would just tell yourself different stuff, instead of telling yourself, oh, I can't do this, oh, they don't want this. Who cares? You need to tell yourself that it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks or what anyone else wants. If you want this title, if you want this career, then you're going to get it. And you do have it, as a matter of fact. Who cares? Maybe it's because New York Fashion Week was coming up. It was coming up and it was in the US. So right after I did swim week, I felt unstoppable. And I was like, you know what? If I can do that, I can imagine what else I can do. I can do this too. So I was like, I'm gonna walk New York Fashion Week this year. And I didn't know how it was gonna happen. I did not have any connections at the time. I was just starting, I was just getting my foot wet into official modeling, like not scam modeling like before, but like official modeling, like with the real people, the real deal. So I got my foot wet in modeling that way. I didn't know anyone, I didn't know any famous models, I didn't know any casting directors, I didn't know any producers, I didn't know anyone at all. I did not know these people. I didn't know who I was going to reach out to. I didn't even know that you could reach out to brands and that could be like a way in. I didn't know what to do. I just knew that I was going to walk New York Fashion Week that year. I think I was I didn't even like know it for sure. I was so angry and fed up with the fact that there has never been a short woman on the runway, or there has never been like a short woman in high fashion unless it was coming from like nepotism. So I literally was upset and angry, and I was like, no, this has to change actually. And so I just told myself, I'm going to walk New York Fashion Week this year. Period. This was in July when I said this. Mind you, swim week used to be in like mid-July. So I think by the time I got a response from someone, it was the first week of August. So maybe like 2 weeks later, or maybe like a week later or whatever, I don't know. I did get a response the day after from a show, but it was not an official show and I wanted to be taken seriously. So I didn't want to do a show that was not really being taken seriously by the audience I want to be taken seriously by. And it was in a group chat. I didn't know, mind you, I did not know how this opportunity was going to come to me, but it basically fell right into my lap because I manifested it and I literally told myself this is what's going to happen for me. And so it was in a petite model group chat. We used to have like a petite model group chat back when Height Revolution did not exist and other petite movements did not exist. And me making all of this noise like I do now was not a thing. We had a support group chat where a few petite models were in there to support each other's posts on Instagram and stuff like that. And one of the models had dropped in the opportunity in the group chat and she was like, hey, I can't make it to New York Fashion Week, but my friend is looking for, she's a designer and she's looking for models and she wants shorter models for this go round. I was very gagged because I was like, didn't I just say I wanted to walk New York Fashion Week? And I just said I was going to, so this is how this works. Like it was like an aha moment for me. So of course I jumped at the opportunity, and I'm pretty sure a lot of others did as well, because who doesn't want to walk New York Fashion Week? Especially because a lot of the people in that group chat were literally in New York at the time. I applied for that and the very next day I got a reply back. Lovely Tiffany responded back to me. I don't know if she still does casting, but she is amazing and I'm grateful for her because she literally gave me my first job. So I have a lot of love for Miss Tiffany. She was like, so she had emailed me, she was like, hey Taylor, can you send me your runway walk and your measurements and some headshots and like some photos, you know, the usual. So I sent all of that, and then maybe like a few minutes later she was like, you're in, amazing, confirmed. I was very gagged at how easy it was, because don't get me wrong, back then, I did not think it was supposed to be this easy, because how people were like telling me, oh, blood, sweat, tears for modeling. You have to do this, this, and this. It's hard to get noticed. First of all, the thing that helped me was I never subscribed to that it's hard to get noticed BS. I think that it's hard for you to get noticed because you think it is. I'm talking directly to you. If this applies to you, I'm going to be so blunt with you. The reason why you don't get work is because you don't think you do. It's because you're not telling yourself that you're booked and busy. You're not seeing yourself as that model who is booked and busy, right? You're not. You're seeing yourself as someone who's trying, or as someone who may get the job or may not get the job. Stop giving it an option. If this is something that you want to do, you need to man up and you need to embody that mindset, and you need to tell yourself that you are successful and that you are the most successful. You are overwhelmingly successful, and every job you want wants you. You book jobs like crazy. These people are so amazed at how far you have come because of how many jobs you book at your height. You need to tell yourself that. It is a mindset shift. You cannot sit here and be victim and see yourself as, oh, I'm just an aspiring model. Girl, no, put the aspiring down. You are a model. You are a model. Call it what it is. Stop being humble. Like, yeah, be humble, but like not that type of humble where you diminish yourself. Like, that's not humble. That's insecurity. And you don't need to do that. Don't do that. So yes, be humble, but don't downplay yourself. If you're a model, you're a model. If you are, it doesn't matter your height. You want to be a model, you're a model. And no one's who's gonna tell you no? You cannot let these people tell you no, you're not. What do they know? They're not you. What do they know? They don't decide what happens in your world. By the way, you create your own reality. So if you know that, with that knowing, why would you let anyone else tell you that you're not a model when you decide if you're a model or not? Like, what are you talking about? Do you know how crazy you look? Like, you need to stand up. That happened, and I walked New York Fashion Week. I walked for 2 brands that day, and I had actually walked for House of Artie, which is a luxury petite brand, and I had no idea I was walking for a petite brand, because one was a petite brand, one was not. We did not know this. I walked with 4 other girls. We made history that day as the first short models to walk New York Fashion Week for the first petite brand to ever showcase, and House of Artie made history, and we were featured in Harper's Bazaar and Marie Claire, Madame Figaro, Elle. Literally what I've always wanted, the official known fashion magazines. Like, this is what I have, it's what I wanted, right? It's what I wanted. I wanted to be in something that people would take me seriously, and this was exactly it. Like, you see how it just dropped into my lap, and all I did was tell myself that it's going to happen, and this is what's going to happen for me, and I did not back down from that, because why would I if it's going to happen? You have to treat it like a booked plan, as if it's like set in stone, and it will be. Also, notice how I was always told you'll never walk a runway because you're too short, yada yada yada, and it just so happened that the New York Fashion Week that I walked in, the brand that I walked for, well, one of the brands was specifically for petite women. So it kind of just aligns with what I want for myself. It aligns with my journey. And it's very funny because those people who told me I'll never walk a runway are now in my DMs asking me if we would like to work together. I think be careful who you write off is all I'm gonna say. The next time I walked New York Fashion Week was in 2023. Okay, I don't know the month, probably September. In September, I really wanted to walk for Runway 7. If you don't know what Runway 7 is, they are the most independent, they are the biggest independent New York Fashion Week showcase. And they do it every year, February, September, during New York Fashion Week timing. They are independent, like I said, which I love. And they've actually made quite the name for themselves. They are a production, and they invite designers to showcase every year, every season. And I wanted to walk for Runway 7 so bad. Like, I really wanted to do it, and I had no clue how it was going to happen, because one thing that I couldn't do is show up to the casting, because I lived in Miami at the time, and Runway 7 was in New York, and they hold castings, right? But I couldn't make it to the casting, and they don't take online submissions. They only take in person. So knowing this, but then also knowing that I know manifestation, and I know law of assumption, and circumstances don't matter. They don't matter. Whatever needs to move will move for you to get your manifestation. Whoever needs to move will move for you to get your manifestation. Me knowing that, all I did was tell myself that, you know what? I've always wanted to walk for Runway 7. They were on my list. They were on my list, and I remember posting it on Twitter when I checked it off with my little Runway 7 badge, and I was like, hey guys, I just checked off a little thingy on my list. All I told myself was, I'm going to walk for Runway 7. I'm going to walk for Runway 7 this season. Like, I was so hell-bent on this season because I want to do it once, and I want to experience this. Ask yourself, why shouldn't you experience it? What's the reason why you shouldn't? What's the reason why you can't? There is no reason. You just hold yourself back. That's the only reason. Knowing this, I told myself I was going to. My co-founder for Height Revolution, Marissa Rose, she's the first 4'11" model to walk a runway. She got this bright idea, and she was like, how about we reach out to designers to see if we can walk for them? And I was like, you know what? Sure, why not? So we did it. Mind you, we found the designers from like lurking on other models' pages. We didn't know who was official for Runway 7 or who was official for fashion, Oxford Fashion Studio, or like all the independent productions. We didn't know who was who. We just wanted to reach out to designers we were interested in and work with them. Vintage Fusion Jewelry actually got back with me, and she had told me that she would love for me to walk for her. I don't remember if she was full or not, and she made an exception for me. I think she said something like, yeah, I've finalized all my models, but I would love for you to walk for me. I can find a piece for you, or something like that. She is so sweet. Her name is Elizabeth, and she's so cool. And Elizabeth, if you're watching, thank you so much for letting me walk for you, and thank you for like actually believing in what I do, and for being so receiving, like well receiving and open to having a short model on the runway. Like, I heart you big, really. I walked for her, and she was actually a Runway 7 designer, and I had walked for runway 7, and I don't think we ever got our footage, but there are like Getty images of it. That is my second story, and the moral of it is whatever needs to move to get to your manifestation will move, whether it be Marissa getting the idea that we should email people without even knowing they're on the runway 7 schedule, just emailing people and asking, hey, would you like to collaborate with us? The last one is my proudest one yet, because it is a New York Fashion Week that was recognized by the official CFDA calendar. Because while I was on my journey of like modeling, mind you, I didn't really have anyone to help me figure this stuff out and like tell me like, oh, these are official shows and these shows aren't official. In New York Fashion Week, there are shows that happen, but not all the shows are official. Like, they're not all shows on the official calendar or recognized by the official New York Fashion Week, right? For example, Oxford Fashion Studio I think they were, and that's kind of crazy. Like, that's very crazy. I had no idea. Just thought they were like, you know, independent, which they are, but you can be independent and recognized by the CFDA calendar. But Runway 7 is not on the official New York Fashion Week calendar. They are their own production, and that doesn't make them any less of credible. They're just their own production. I personally want it to walk for someone who is recognized by the CFDA calendar, because I feel like people are funny in this industry and they only take you seriously, obviously, when you are working with like the officials or whatever. I really wanted that for myself as someone who wants to be taken seriously, and when I was made aware of that, then I was like, let's do it. This is what happened, right? This is actually kind of funny, and it just proves that manifestation is that girl. After my cover of Insta came out, Pop Crave has a little like thing about me, a post about me, and the thing they said, she'll be making her runway debut this September. I didn't have a runway debut lined up. My team was kind of just like, can you manifest it? And I was like, yeah. And then they were like, okay, so we'll just say it. We'll just say she has her runway debut lined up and she'll walk. Like, they actually trusted me, and that's like crazy. That's very crazy, but I trust me too, so I get it. So I didn't know how it was gonna happen. I've been down this road before with Runway 7 and Oxford Fashion Studio. Had no clue how it was gonna come to pass, but I knew it would. So I had no issue with them actually like announcing, oh yeah, she's gonna make her runway debut this year for an official designer on the CFDA calendar. Like, yeah, hell yeah, I am. Ever since that was out, I kind of just had like the knowing. I was like, yeah, if I want it, then I'm going to get it. So yes, I am making my debut this year for someone on the official calendar, and or someone recognized by the CFDA. So I made it my business to go to New York, and I went to castings and all that kind of stuff. There was one specific casting that I showed up to, and this was on my radar because it is my mission to go to castings that only take models 5'7" and up, 5'8" and up, 5'9" and up, 5'10" and up, because I want to make a statement. And the statement is obviously like, okay, I'm not that, but I can still do this. Because my thing is, personally, I feel like no shade to influencers, but there are a lot of influencers nowadays who walk the runway, and they walk for these official brands, and these influencers are not tall. They're like my height, or like 5'2", 5'3", 5'4", in my like height range, right? Or even 4'11", and they are on the runway. They're like the exception, right? And they have pieces made for them. So I feel like you can't use the excuse of you short models can't work for me because I don't have any pieces for you. Well, if you made an exception for this influencer, then I think that you can make the exception for petite models, because fashion is for everyone. And also, it's always the same people who are on the diversity and inclusivity parade that never want to do it. So it's like, make it make sense. You're just being performative. So it's my idea to just show up anyway and be like, hey, we exist, and I'm not gonna let you forget us. Like, we exist and we deserve inclusion too. So I do with everybody. Like, I will go anyway. And I am so confident that one day, maybe if not like soon, they will actually delete the height requirement like they did on agency websites. Because the majority of like big agencies don't even have a height requirement on there anymore. And I think it's gonna be the same way with castings the more we speak out and show up. I showed up anyway, and they had a measuring tape. The flyer was 5'10" and up, or women 5'9" and up. Okay, that's cool. I'm not that, and I'm still gonna come. Had a measuring tape, and they would measure us and see our height, and they measured me, and they were like, okay, this is her height, wrote it down, and then gave me the card and let me go in. And honestly, there were a lot of people who showed up who were not even that height. People have the message of I'm gonna show up anyway, and I love that, because I think there were way too many people who showed up who weren't that height, so they just did not send anyone home this year, because I did hear that last year and the few years before they sent people home. So I think I love that for us. Let's keep going, you know, let's keep it going. The next day I was at another show that I had booked, and while I was at that show, it's very much a coincidence that the photographer who took my photo, like, you know, when you go to a New York Fashion Week casting, when I went to that specific casting, there was a photographer who took my photo. Next day, that very same photographer was at the event that I was at. And so he came up to me, he was like, hey, were you at the Chuks Collins casting yesterday? I remember you. And I was like, yeah. He was like, you got in? And I was like, huh? Because I didn't get the email yet. And he was like, yeah, you got in. I think they made an exception for you. You're like the only short model. And I was like, oh. I manifested that because the entire time, number one, I had the mindset of I am making my official debut this year. And then number two, I had the idea of this doesn't apply to me. Like, I just go into every single casting, and it's not even a thing of arrogance. So don't ever let anyone tell you that. It's a thing of confidence. It's like, okay, well, if they can do it, so can I. And you have to remember, there is always a first for everything. There is always a first for everything, right? I went in there, the flyer literally said 5, 10 and up, and I never do care. Like, I just go anyway, because it's like, if I don't put it out there, who's going to? If I don't put myself out there, who's going to? Because literally everyone wants to just like put you in a box of influencer or commercial model, print model, and beauty model and all that kind of stuff. And that's really cool. That's cute. I love that. I know people are like, well, petites can model. They do beauty work. I don't want to do beauty work. I'm aware. You don't have to tell me. Thank you for your education, but that's not what I want to do. And I already know it. I can do beauty model. I've done beauty modeling. I've done commercial print modeling. It's not what I want to do. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do fashion, runway. I want to do runway. And I think that you are entitled to living your dream life as much as I am. So if I want to do something and it's not hurting anybody and it's a positive movement, why wouldn't I do it? And why are these people trying to tell you, oh no, you shouldn't do that? Like, I don't really care if you don't like change. It's going to change. And I don't mind being the one to do it, because I have that confidence in myself, and you guys need to have that confidence in yourself. If I want to do something, then I'm going to do it. Having that idea, that mindset of, yeah, I'm going to do it, period. And it's set in stone because I said so, and I'm going to stand firm in that because I create my own reality. So since I create, then I'm going to create this opportunity for myself, period. Now that you guys have heard my story, I want to advise you on how you can do the same thing now that it's New York Fashion Week season. I'm sure castings are going around, and I'm sure people are still pulling the same 5'7" and up BS. 5'7" and up, 5'8" and up, 5'9" and up bullshit. But it's okay. I'm gonna tell you how you can get into New York Fashion Week too if you didn't take anything from all the gapping I just did. Mindset. I can't be more clear on that. It is not like any secret, it is just your mindset. And I'm pretty sure any successful person will literally tell you that it's mindset. That how they got where they want to be is mindset. They didn't let anyone tell them no. They were stubborn about it. They were out for blood, if you will. They were like, this is what's going to happen for me. This is how it is for me. And you can't tell me anything different, period. You need to walk in the room with the idea, with the mindset of, I'm going to be chosen. Like, you need to see yourself as someone who is always chosen, as someone who is always chosen over everyone else, because you're the main character, right? So the main character is always chosen. You don't have to, it's not an I'm better than you mindset, it's just an I'm chosen mindset because I'm me. It's I'm chosen because I'm me type of thing. Don't ever let anybody make you feel bad for having that mindset, because that mindset's going to get you so much farther than the mindset of, oh, well, I might get this job, but this job I might not get, or I'm just an aspiring model and I'm just, this job is too good for me. What are you talking about? You need to stand up. No job is too good for you. What are you talking about? Don't water yourself down for anybody, ever. You need to go in with the mindset of, this is how life is for me. This is how it is for me. This is how it's going to be. I write the story, so I already know how it's going to end because I wrote it. Like, you need to go in with that mindset of being in total control and knowing who you are and being confident in yourself and your abilities and who you are as a model. Being confident that you are not an aspiring model, you are a model who is chosen, who everyone wants to work with you. Of course they would choose you because you're just so cool. You're the main character. Yeah, you're confident. You have it all. You have it all. You have everything. You're the ultimate choice. You're the best choice. You're the first choice. You need to have that mentality. You need to have that mentality. Really. It's going to get you so far. And I know in this industry, a lot of people are like, well, competition, and you need to stop seeing competition. You need to treat everyone as an extra. Like, not actually treat them as an extra, like as in be mean. Don't be mean to people. Don't be an ass. treat people as an extra, as in your mind, only you matter. Only you matter. You need to treat it as if you're the only one that matters. As if when you walk into a room, you're only worried about yourself. You're only focused on yourself and your own walk and your own vibe and the fact that you are chosen. You are literally chosen. You're the first choice. It doesn't matter about this model, that model. Don't even look at them like that. Don't even give them any power. Why are you giving other people power when you're the main character and you create your own reality? Like, that's just nonsense, really. You need to walk in like you are that girl, or you are that boy, or you are that them. Like, you need to be that person. You need to be that person. You cannot expect things to just go your way when you're so down on yourself and you're talking low about yourself and you don't expect to actually make it because you don't think you're good enough. Well, guess what? That's only what's going to get mirrored back to you, because your world is your mirror. No one's going to pity you. No one's going to feel bad for you. And I said this in my InStyle video as well, because it's true. No one's going to pity you. They're just not going to choose you. Like, it's that simple. They're not going to, oh, well, maybe we should give this person a chance. If you won't even give yourself a chance, you cannot walk in here and expect other people to give you a chance. That's not how this works. That is not how this works. If you think so lowly of yourself, if you think you're not good enough, if you think you're not ready, if you think that you can't do this, or they will never choose you, they'll never look at you, then guess what? They'll never look at you and they'll never choose you. You need to start choosing you. You need to tell yourself that in every room you walk in, you are the chosen one. You walk in that room knowing that you're going to be chosen, because you have the walk, you have the vibe, you have the look, you have it. You have the it factor. And don't let anybody tell you that you don't. Period. You can't let other people's opinions of you run your life. You have to run your own life, because again, that is just craziness, nonsense for you to be the main character, the director, the producer of your reality and not get what you want and let everyone else dictate how life's going to go for you. Something's got to change, and it's going to be your mindset, or it's got to be, or nothing else is going to change, because that has to come first. If you don't think you can do it, then okay, congrats, you can't. But if you think that you can, that's going to change everything for you. Stop pitying yourself. Stop feeling bad for yourself. And I'm sure as hell not going to pity you, okay? You feel this way, then that's what you're going to experience. Congrats. Until you feel the need to change it. Change your mindset if you want to change your world or change your life or get this opportunity. You just walk in, telling yourself, deciding this is for you. If you want it to be for you, then it's for you. Period. If you want to do something, it's for you. Thank you all for watching. Hope this helped you. Hope y'all are on the runway this year, and bye.